and you are live on KEXP. I'm Larry Mizell Jr., and I am stationed down here in the live room, and I'm so happy to have with me right now thrice Grammy-nominated drummer, producer, band leader, the one and only Nate Smith, playing joints off that excellent new 2025 record, Live Action. Thank you for being here. live on KEXP. Nate Smith, Live Action is the album that came out this year. You just heard Magic Dance, Last Sight, incredible version of the Pointer Sisters, Automatic and Undefeated. There's a bunch of bad cats in this room right now, I gotta say. I'm amazed by the feeling in this session and on the album of the depth of warmth and cohesion, and it feels very, very intentionally brought about. And I wonder if you would speak to that.
Sure. First of all, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Shout out to KEXP for having us. When I started making this record, it kind of was really about collaboration.
Yeah.
The idea was really about a community of people that I know, and some I didn't know at the time. Some people I just reached out to cold, and was like, I had never met Josh before.
Okay.
Reached out to him, and thankfully he said yes. And never met Layla Hathaway before, and reached out to her, through like mutual friends. There was always like some kind of mutual connection, some kind of fabric that tied people together. So, I'm just blessed it worked out. We started. I started recording, I guess, about a year and some change ago. Actually, now, like a year and a half ago. And the stuff that you hear on the record started in like the fall of 2023.
Okay.
And that's kind of when I first started reaching out to people to collaborate.
Feels amazingly fresh.
Thank you.
I feel like you're like a really dynamic collaborator. You've collaborated with everybody from Paul Simon, Brittany Howard, Michael Jackson. You're part of the Fearless Flyers. You're part of that Wolfpack universe.
Wolf universe.
Yeah,
yes.
It's a real cinematic universe right there.
It is. It's the MCU.
Yeah.
WCU.
That's right.
VCU. Yeah.
Shout out to the VCU.
Yeah.
I'm curious kind of what shaped your, your ability to kind of slide in any context and kind of make it bloom.
Most of the stuff that I've done kind of centers around listening, really.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you hear in this band. Like, everyone in this band is a great player, but also a really, really great listener. Mm-hmm. And also, most of the time that I've been invited to collaborate, or I've invited some people to collaborate, it's because I hear a thing in them.
Yeah.
Or maybe they hear a thing in me. And so they invite me in with the expectation that I'll bring myself to it. That means a lot, in thinking about collaborators, I think about Brittany Howard. Brittany had heard me, had seen me play, had seen social media videos or what have you, and saw something she liked and reached out. So it really does. I try to do the same thing with the musicians I reach out to. If I hear something special, I want to capture that thing, which I believe is authentic to them.
Absolutely. I wonder if you would speak about the cats you have with you here today.
Absolutely. On piano and keyboards, the young genius, James Francies. Mm-hmm. I've known James many years. We've played a lot of music together. Various ensembles, various band leaders we've worked with, and he's just a stellar musician, as you can hear.
Yes.
And has plenty of music out under his own name and stuff to check out. So, he's a wellspring of creativity and ideas. As is Ben Williams on bass. Mm-hmm. Ben is another gentleman I've known many years. We played a lot of music together with a lot of different, band leaders in a lot of different situations, and Ben always elevates the music.
Yeah.
And he always plays exactly what's right. It's kind of freaky, like he plays like exactly what's right all the time. So shout out to Ben.
That's a good gift.
It is. DC's own.
Say that.
And then Josh Johnson on saxophone, who, like I said, I had never met before we started this collaboration, but I feel like I've known him, because I've been a fan of his music and his collaborations with other people. His band SML and his work with Michelle and Degio Cello, and so everybody that I reached out to, I had been checking out, and so I'm just grateful these guys were available because they're busy,
no doubt.
and they said yes,
Yes.
So yeah.
Salute. A lot of heavies in here. Nate, I know that you were mentored by Betty Carter.
Yes.
I wondered if you would speak a little bit about mentorship. Within the jazz idiom, I feel like it's like an intrinsic part of it, almost akin to like diasporic spiritual traditions. Like, you have to be brought into the thing. I wonder if you would talk about that.
For sure. I grew up kind of in a small town. I'm from Chesapeake, Virginia. and there wasn't much of a centralized music scene in that area, the Hampton Roads area, because it's so spread out. So I didn't really have a lot of contact with musicians my age who were playing at like a super high level until two things happened. I did a summer gig at Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida. I met Andre Hayward, the trombonist. Andre made a connection to Betty because he had just worked with Betty for her first Jazz Ahead program. And he introduced me to Betty, and Betty heard me play and heard something in my playing and said, I want you to come to Jazz Ahead. I want you to come. So that year I went. Not only was it about my exposure to her, it was also about my exposure to musicians my age who were playing so much better. They were playing so much better than me. And she encouraged that. She encouraged that healthy spirit of competition, you know, among the musicians. She really wanted everyone at their best. And the little bit that I got to play with her for the last couple years of her life, the thing I really learned about Betty is that she was so in charge of everything. Yeah. Everything was intentional. From the way she conducted the band on stage, the way she would indicate the form, the way she would sing the tunes, everything was so intentional. And but there was still this freedom in it. Yeah. It didn't feel like she was imposing anything on the band, you know. Yeah. The only obligation you had every night was to play at your best. And she was listening, like really hard, you know. So I wish I'd had more time with her. I wish I'd made more music with her, but I'm grateful for the time I had, you know. I really am.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've been struck for many years now, but especially say in the last decade, how much youthful energy there is around jazz, if we're going to be, you know, reduce it to that. I wondered if all of y'all had something that you would pass to a young lion out there, a young person trying to play, trying to get in the mix. What would you give to them? Yeah. I mean, I'll start with me. I guess everybody here has a mic they can contribute. Please. But I'll start with myself. You know, most of the whatever wisdom I can offer or whatever experience I can offer to a young musician would boil down to three things. It's just be cool, you know, not too hard on yourself, be patient about the process because it is a long journey, and try to be as prepared as you can, too. Those are the three things. I think I would just point to those things, you know, again and again for any young musician who would ask. Right on. Yeah. Josh, what do you say?
The main thing I would say is to stay curious and to really follow your curiosity. I think there's so much that's possible when we're led by that, and I think often that leads us to the things, the sounds that make us unique.
Amen. James, what about you?
I would say consistency is your best friend.
Yeah.
It's better to practice 30 minutes a day than to practice 3 hours every 5 days. Then another thing I would say, that's funny, I write down these random phrases in my notes, and I was on the plane today, and I saw something I wrote down last year that said, the joy in the journey. So just remember that this is fun, and you know, find the joy in the journey, what we're doing.
Beautiful. What you got, Ben?
Well, I mean, I think these guys pretty much covered the important things. If there's anything I would add to that, actually I would say it's maybe something a little bit non-musical, and that's just, you know, really take care of yourself. You know, make sure you're, you know, you don't let the things outside of the thing about music that you love really distract you too much. Whether that, you know, be the business or just kind of, you know, drowning out the noise around you. Just try to stay in touch with that thing that made you fall in love with music in the first place.
Now, I asked this, you know, under the auspices of for young folks, but obviously this applies to everybody and everything. So I thank y'all for bringing forth these points for the folks right now.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank y'all, brothers, for coming through. It's been a beautiful session. Nate Smith, thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Live on KEXP, Nate Smith. I'm Larry Mizell Jr. Sessions like this happen because of listeners just like you. You power the music. You power live experiences like this. Make sure you subscribe to the KEXP YouTube, over 1 billion views strong, so you make sure you see this session when it drops so you can catch it in all of its glory. Thank you for listening. Thank you for powering public media and for powering KEXP, KEXP.org, where the music matters. This is Live on KEXP.
Discover new music at listener-powered KEXP.org.